imagine yourself where you lost everything, but you have accumulated all this knowledge and you had to start over, where a lot of people are starting over right now or just getting started in kind of the crypto space. So what would you tell them would be kind of like a framework to find success in the crypto space and Web3?
I don't know that it's specifically about Web3 and crypto. I would say in general, if you can do something that has impact and purpose, then you'll find success in one form or the other. And for us, we think that's in the Web3 space. I think Web3 is an enabler. So in many ways, that how the internet enabled people to do stuff with impact and purpose. And while it may take some time to get there, I think trying to drive towards that is, what we look for founders. Because if you're doing something like that, then you're building for a mission greater than your own. And when you build something that you think is greater than your own, then that's where you're willing to basically put out sleepless nights. And during 2023 was a pretty bad year for crypto, right? And we went out on conferences and we spoke to everyone and tried to tell everyone, hey, the whole world isn't like SPF, okay? Crypto is actually a good thing. And we got governments on board. Hong Kong became very pro. All these places basically sort of started to listen as well. And that's a tireless effort that takes place on evangelizing this space that comes with conviction. And, I have a family, so I travel a lot. So there's a sacrifice I'm giving up for time with my family to go, talk about Web3 and why it's important to the world. That's only possible if you think it's that important, right? And if you have to trade it off, in some cases people say, family is my priority for certain things in my certain stage of life, then maybe that's your purpose and maybe you're building towards that. That's okay too. I think the point is that, when you think about success isn't necessarily has to be of grand scale, right? It has to do with what makes you happy. What is your well-being here in the state of things? And I agree that you need a certain amount of capital and money to have a certain type of happiness and well-being. But there's a point where that doesn't come purely from money itself, right? And that is something that, you find for things that have meaning to you. You said it earlier, right? People want to have meaning and purpose. That's what's most important. And so look for something that gives you meaning and purpose. And I think you will find success.
Yeah, I fully agree with that. I chased money in my younger years quite a bit and didn't end up very happy, but I did okay for myself financially. And a lot of people always comment, like, I say money can't buy happiness. And then people who don't have money hate when you say something like that.
Sure.
They're like, oh, you can say
it's
that
a little tone deaf in this world
from your nice villa or whatever pedestal you're putting yourself on. But I think a lot of people confuse comfort with happiness. Money can easily buy comfort, and you can not have to worry about a lot of things that you don't have to worry about anymore. But at the end of the day, it's the meaning behind what you're doing, which drives motivation to do what you want to actually accomplish. And that's where I think purpose.
I think a lot of people also don't understand the root of some words, right? So when people talk about wealth, right? Actually, one of the origins of the word wealth was not money. And although that's a part of it, it's well-being.
Yeah.
And the whole idea of having well-being and being well as a person is not only financial, but the financial side aids in that. So you have wealth that's financial towards your well-being, right? And that well-being can be spiritual, can be family, can be happiness, can be community, right? And that's also one of the reasons when you think about like the NFT communities, Bored Ape price might have gone down from the peak pricing, but people still love them because it's a community. It's the well-being of that environment that you have, the fact that you're part of something that feels bigger or more important, or you have kinship or you have friendship that you can't measure purely in money. So wealth isn't about just how much money you have, right? It's about your well-being. And for some people, the well-being might have different levels of wealth. Sure, that's an individual thing, right? But it's ultimately about how do you find, I think, that well-being that makes you a truly happy and wealthy person.